Hey guys, tonight we slip between time and symbols through a vision written in thunder and sealed in stars. You lie still, the hum of your fan the only sound, while outside the world keeps turning, uncertain and loud. But in here, it's just you and a scroll older than empires. And if you're wondering, yes, the Book of Revelation might fry your circuits before it soothes your soul. You probably won't survive it. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Oh, and tell me where you're listening from and what time it is. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. The Book of Revelation opens not with monsters or fire, but with a letter. That's easy to forget. You always imagine chaos, beasts, trumpets, the Netflix trailer kind of stuff. But no, the first thing that meets you is an address to the 7 churches. Not to Rome, not to emperors, but to a scattered bunch of exhausted believers. People like you, like now. And so you walk into this vision slowly, like stepping into a church just before midnight. The air is thick, candles are burning low. You notice the 7 golden lampstands first, each one flickering with meaning. The names echo: Ephesus, Smyrna, Pergamum, Thyatira, Sardis, Philadelphia, Laodicea. Cities once full of life, marketplaces, sandals scraping stone. Most are now dust, but their letters, those stayed. It's funny, isn't it, that this most terrifying book of the Bible starts with handwritten notes. You read them like mail someone left on the kitchen counter. You've lost your first love. You think you're alive, but you're dead. You're neither hot nor cold. And just like that, the thunder starts in your chest. The Apostle John, old and exiled, hears a voice like a trumpet. You almost smile. That's quite the ringtone. And suddenly, he's in the Spirit, whatever that means, and you're with him, squinting into the brightness. A figure stands among the lampstands, eyes like fire, hair like snow, voice like the ocean. No, not Santa Claus. This is the Son of Man in full surreal glory. You feel like backing away, but then his first words are, "Don't be afraid." And just like that, the whole tone shifts. There's a strange peace in Revelation. Not the absence of chaos, but the presence of someone walking through it with you. You wonder why the modern church doesn't read this book like that. Why we turned it into charts and timelines and TV preachers yelling over red moons. Maybe we forgot it was a letter. Maybe we forgot it was to us. Historically, Revelation was written during Domitian's reign, a time when claiming Christ could get you thrown to lions or burned in garden parties. Yeah, that kind of party. Scholars still debate whether John was exiled to Patmos for preaching, protesting, or just being inconvenient. But while Rome banished him, heaven invited him. Here's a weird detail. The Greek word for revelation is apocalypsis, which doesn't mean destruction. It means unveiling, like pulling back a curtain. And that's what this whole thing feels like. You're not watching the world burn. You're seeing what's behind it. The dragon behind the empire, the throne above the storm. It gets under your skin. You start wondering if some of the beasts John saw wore suits and carried smartphones. You think of how every generation sees themselves in these pages. And maybe that's the point. Revelation isn't just prophecy, it's a mirror. And sure, the imagery is overwhelming, but maybe it's supposed to be. Maybe Revelation isn't meant to be understood like a puzzle, but felt like music, like a dream, or a warning whispered in your ear just before you fall asleep. And here you are, lying in the dark, listening to thunder written in ink.
You squint again into that vision. There's a scroll, sealed 7 times. No one in heaven or on earth is worthy to open it. Not you, not anyone. And for a moment, the silence in the room matches the silence in heaven. You feel it deep in your ribcage. Then someone weeps. Maybe it's John. Maybe it's you. But wait, there is someone. The Lion of the tribe of Judah, they say. You brace yourself for a roar, and instead a lamb appears, slain, standing. The most passive creature becomes the most powerful. That's revelation for you. Every time you think it's about violence, something flips. Every time you expect force, you get surrender. You kind of hate how beautiful that is. And then it begins. The seals start breaking. One by one, the riders gallop out, white, red, black, pale. You've heard of them, right? The 4 horsemen. Sounds like a band, but they're more like symptoms than villains. Conquest, war, famine, death. Not summoned from hell, but loosed from within humanity itself. You glance at your phone. Famine trends somewhere. War scrolls endlessly. It's like opening a news app from 2,000 years ago. You shift under the covers. There's a 5th seal. Souls under the altar crying out for justice. You wonder if your own questions would echo there. How long, Lord? Still no answer. Then the 6th seal breaks. An earthquake. The sun goes dark. Stars fall. Classic apocalyptic fireworks. But something about it feels intimate. The kind of panic that creeps, not explodes. And here comes the weird part. You reach the 7th seal, expecting something wild. Instead, silence for half an hour. No sound, no trumpet, just silence. And in that quiet, you realize revelation isn't just noise. It's a rhythm, a breath, a pause between heartbeats. Maybe judgment needs silence to land. Scholars still argue whether these seals are literal future events, metaphorical cycles, or cosmic poetry. Some insist they described 1st century Rome. Others think they're unfolding right now. Others say they haven't started yet. You sip that thought like bitter tea. Maybe all of the above. But then you catch a detail. The martyrs wear white robes. The beast rises not from hell, but from the sea. The dragon has 7 heads and 10 horns. You start to notice patterns, numbers, repetition, echoes of Daniel and Ezekiel. It's like Revelation has its own language, a kind of prophetic math. And oh, the creatures. You try to describe one, part lion, part eagle, eyes all over, like a biblical Pokemon on too much caffeine. You chuckle. It's okay. John didn't have CGI, so he just did his best. But beneath the surrealism is something painfully real. Each broken seal uncovers human fragility, the kind we see daily, in hunger, in violence, in greed. You stop seeing Revelation as fantasy. It's a journal, written in symbols about every time people forgot they were made in God's image. Here's a strange footnote. Some ancient manuscripts used different colors for the horses. Not always white, not always pale. Details shift, meanings deepen. It's like Revelation resists being pinned down. It breathes. And that's what's unsettling. You can't box it. You can't meme it. Revelation keeps dodging your categories like a prophet on roller skates. And yet, it feels eerily familiar. Not because you know the future, but because you recognize the present. You roll over in bed. The fan hums. Somewhere, another seal cracks open in someone's heart. You close your eyes. But you don't sleep yet.
You blink, and the scene shifts again. You're standing in front of the 7 churches, dust rising from their old stone streets. You can almost hear sandals scuffing across the market, smell warm bread cooling on stone. The letters are short, almost like text messages from heaven, but the tone? Sharp, loving, stern, familiar. Ephesus? Too busy being right to be kind. Smyrna? Suffering, yet rich in spirit. Pergamum? Compromising. Thyatira, tolerating the intolerable. Sardis, dead while looking alive. Philadelphia, faithful but weary. Laodicea, lukewarm. the coffee analogy that changed church history. You start to sweat, not from the heat, from recognition. You wonder, where do you belong? Maybe you're Sardis, drifting through routine, or Laodicea, numbed by Netflix and iced lattes. Maybe your own faith has turned into just content. You think about the time you zoned out during a sermon and scrolled memes about tribulation. Revelation doesn't feel like a movie anymore. It feels like a mirror. And here's the twist. Every letter ends with the same phrase, "He who has ears, let him hear." You touch your earbuds, irony noted. These aren't warnings to people out there. They're wake-up calls to people in here. You, lying in bed, trying to figure out why your soul hums with this strange mixture of dread and hope. Historically, these churches existed in Asia Minor, modern-day Turkey. Real cities, real communities. Some thrived, some faded. But the messages live on. It's like time folded in on itself, and Revelation knew how easy it would be for us to become distracted, cynical, addicted to comfort. Here's a weird detail. Laodicea, the lukewarm church, sat between two cities, one famous for hot springs, the other for cold, pure water. But Laodicea's own water? Tepid, useless. You sip your lukewarm tea on the nightstand and grimace. John was savage. You wonder why we turned these letters into museum exhibits. They're not fossils, they're X-rays, and they're scanning you. Some scholars argue whether these churches represent eras of church history. Others say they're just symbolic types. But when you read them like journal entries from a disappointed lover, it's hard not to take them personally. Especially that line, "I stand at the door and knock." You imagine Jesus standing on your front porch, waiting for someone to pause TikTok and open up. Not demanding, just knocking, repeatedly, politely. The Son of God reduced to doorbell. And that's the sting, isn't it? Revelation isn't just dramatic symbols and end-of-the-world flair. It's a love letter to a bride that keeps forgetting her groom. You shift under your blanket again, your thoughts heavier now, your heart a little quieter. The ancient churches are ruins now, buried under soil and tourism, but the spirit of each still walks among us. In pews and podcasts, in worship songs and memes, and sermons half listened to. You ask yourself, what kind of church are we now? What kind of believer are you? The lampstands still flicker, the letters still speak, and somewhere, someone is still knocking.
You don't notice it at first, but the tone begins to shift. The air thickens, candles burn lower. You've left the churches behind, and now you follow a trail paved in gold, perfume, and blood. A woman appears, draped in purple and scarlet, dripping with jewels. She rides a beast, and her cup is full of something you really don't want to drink. Welcome to Babylon. She isn't a city, not really. She's a symbol of corruption, indulgence, empire with eyeliner, and she knows how to sell herself. You watch her sway through the vision like she owns it, because in a way, she does. And here's the uncomfortable part. You recognize her, not just in politics or pop stars, but in the little compromises, in the algorithm, in the way ads speak to your fear of missing out. Babylon doesn't shout anymore. She whispers through push notifications. The book of Revelation paints her vividly, drunk on the blood of saints, flaunting her influence like a TikTok crown. But she's not just evil. She's seductive. That's what makes her dangerous. You don't hate her. You envy her. Just a little. Historically, Babylon stood for Rome, the city that crushed Jerusalem and turned crosses into warning signs. But as you lie there, you wonder, if Revelation were written today, would it call out your culture the same way? The idols are subtler now. Streaming services instead of altars, followers instead of golden calves. There's an odd academic debate. Is Babylon one specific regime or every empire that forgets its dust? Most scholars lean toward both. Every time we turn prosperity into pride, Babylon gets another crown. And then she falls. Hard. Fast. The merchants weep,
the kings retreat, the music stops, and somewhere in your chest, a strange relief rises. Because as much as you admire her glitter, you're tired. Tired of scrolling, of pretending, of buying peace in digital pieces. Babylon sells comfort, but never gives rest. Her lights are always on, but they never warm you. And then the story zooms out. Trumpets, thunder, a cosmic courtroom. You feel dizzy, like flipping through channels too fast. There's this strange interlude. A dragon, a beast from the sea, another beast from the earth. You try to keep track, but it's like reading a political cartoon with too many layers. The dragon wages war on the saints. The beast marks people. You wonder if this is literal, metaphorical, or just another Tuesday on social media. Some preachers swear the mark of the beast is a microchip. Others say it's ideology. Still others think it's just giving in, going along. You can't help but look at your own hand. Not for a barcode, but for convenience, for compromise. Would you notice if Babylon marked you in comfort instead of ink? Here's a creepy detail. In some early interpretations, 666 wasn't just a number, it was a coded jab at Nero Caesar, the Roman emperor. If that's true, then the beast has already come and might keep coming. And that's the thing. Revelation isn't just predicting events, it's naming patterns. Power that devours, wealth that blinds, religion that forgets its soul. But even in this mess, a voice cuts through. Come out of her, my people. You hear it like a whisper across time. Not angry, just urgent, like someone trying to wake you gently before the fire gets too close. You lie still, eyes wide in the dark. You don't live in ancient Rome, but maybe Babylon's zip code still matches yours.
You're still thinking about Babylon when the story veers again. This time, it's not a woman in scarlet that greets you. It's a lamb. Not a lion, not a general, not a superhero in a cape. Just a lamb, looking as if it had been slain. And you're told this lamb is the center of the whole vision. Wait, what? You rewind in your head. In every story, the hero rides in with swords, shouts, and smoke. But here, the hero walks in with scars. Silent, bleeding, glowing. You almost laugh because, of course, Revelation would choose a symbol that's utterly backward. Power and weakness, victory through surrender, judgment via mercy. It's like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube while blindfolded and underwater. The Lamb leads an army, but they don't fight. They sing. They follow. They conquer not by domination, but by witness. It's a kind of resistance you forgot was possible. You wonder if maybe that's the point. The revelation isn't about power at all, it's about refusing to play the game. You think of the times you argued on the internet like a keyboard crusader, the times you tried to win a soul by outshouting them, and you cringe. There's a scene, one of the most beautiful ones. You're shown a multitude, too big to count, from every tribe, tongue, and nation. And they're all wearing white, holding palm branches. You don't know why, but it makes you want to cry. Maybe because for once, nobody's fighting. No flags, no borders, just presence. Historically, scholars argue whether these martyrs died in literal persecution or if they represent all who held fast in faith. Some see it as the church purified. Others say it's a future vision of those yet to come. You wonder if it matters. Either way, they're home. There's this repeated phrase, they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. Not by politics, not by algorithms, not by branding. Just a story and a savior. Here's a curious detail. In Revelation, no one ever calls Jesus, Jesus. He's the Lamb, the root of David, the faithful witness, the firstborn from the dead. It's like John wants you to see him from every angle except the comfortable one. And the more you think about it, the more subversive this book becomes. The world says dominate, Revelation says endure. The world says flex, Revelation says fall on your knees. The world crowns the strong, Revelation lifts up the crushed. There's a scene where the beast wounds the two witnesses, and people celebrate in the streets, like it's a holiday. They hand out gifts because the annoying prophets are finally silenced. You think of truth tellers today, whistleblowers, voices that make you uncomfortable. We don't always kill them. Sometimes we just unfollow. Still, the Lamb remains. Quiet, steady, patient. You wonder if he's waiting for you too, not with judgment, but with eyes like fire and a voice like the ocean. And maybe, just maybe, Revelation isn't about predicting the end, but about calling you back to the beginning, where love was louder than fear, where sacrifice wasn't weakness, where the throne was shaped like a cross. The fan hums, you pull the blanket higher. You're not sure what comes next, but the Lamb is still standing, and that's something.
You drift now, half asleep, half awake, as the vision stretches to its final breath. And it's here, at the end of all things, that something unexpected happens. A city appears. Not a ruin, not a bunker, but a city of light, descending like a bride dressed for her wedding day. You blink. You were bracing for fire, and you got a garden. Actually, it's both. A garden with streets, a tree with fruit for every month, a river running clear through gold-paved squares. You realize something. Revelation doesn't end with escape. It ends with return. This isn't you getting out of the world. It's heaven moving in. The New Jerusalem isn't floating in space or locked behind pearly gates. It's here, recreated, restored, like the world you always wanted but couldn't name. The place your soul kept searching for in every good meal, every honest hug, every moment that felt like maybe, just maybe, things could be whole again. Historically, some believe this was a metaphor. Others say it's literal. Some call it a renewed earth, some a spiritual realm. Scholars still debate, is the New Jerusalem a place or a people? You wonder if it's both. There's no temple in this city, no church, no need, because God lives there now. Not in stone, not behind curtains, but walking beside you. And here's a strange, lovely detail. The gates never close. Ever. No fear of night, no fear of thieves, no borders. You could walk in at 3 a.m. with bedhead and doubts, and you'd still be welcome. All the beasts are gone, all the trumpets silenced. The sea, once symbol of chaos, is no more. Even tears have a shelf life here. God wipes them away, one by one, like a mother brushing crumbs from a child's face. And then, just when you think it's all over, you hear the voice again. Same one from the beginning. I am the Alpha and the Omega.
You smile, because he's still here. From the lampstands to the seals, from Babylon to the throne, he never left. And now, he says, I make all things new. You look around your quiet room, the hum of the fan, the breath in your chest, the light flickering under your door. Somehow, it all feels different now. You're not escaping the world. You're learning to see it properly. The final verses echo like lullabies. Come, drink. Let the one who is thirsty come. And you realize, this isn't just a story about the future. It's an invitation, one that never expires. And so finally, you close your eyes. Stillness, peace, a city, a lamb, and someone at the door still knocking. Now let it slow down. Let your thoughts soften like distant echoes. The city fades into warm light. The rivers run quiet. You are safe here, wrapped in ancient words, rocked by the rhythm of eternity. The beasts are silent. The gates are open, and the voice that called stars into being whispers now, just for you. Come, rest. I am already here.